if somebody asks specifically to have a response, I usually try to take time within a few days and answer it.
Okay, so should I resend mine from last week asking about amending minutes and the status update of the plow contract?
You can certainly, I do have it in my email, but I thought that your request was directed more towards the board because you had them in there also about amending their minutes because they approve them. And the plow contract, obviously, there's no progress on it because they still have another year.
But at the April, was it, one of them, sorry, they're not together, we discussed about what was gonna happen. The last that was said was the town was waiting for a letter from his attorney before they.
At a meeting or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, I asked Christine, it was last month, where with that, and she said there's nothing, so.
All right, so is he gonna be required to be bonded this year because last year was such a shit show? Pardon my French?
I'm in 100%, yeah.
So my understanding is Chair Pushart has asked for it to be an agenda item in September. So it'll be on the September meeting.
And if there's an issue, that's pretty late, because that means October if he fails. We're gonna be scrambling.
I agree.
He reports to the board, he doesn't report to me because he's a
Well,
contractor.
you are the road commissioner.
Understood, but they signed his contract. I didn't choose or make a recommendation.
And I understand that. But I guess as a town's resident, and as someone who apparently seems to be taking the lead on it, because people keep coming to me asking about stuff, and I'm like, well, you guys, I just pay my taxes. I don't wanna be, there were a lot of concerns the last couple of storms. Did he step it up at one at the end? Yes. But I guess my concern is, what is the plan gonna be going forward with issues and everything, and how is it gonna be addressed? But it sounds like nothing's gonna get resolved until Mike's here at the September meeting.
Okay, so Mike and I did meet with Mike last week, I believe it was, and expressed our concerns, stating that we didn't want the issues that we had last year. And it was up to him to make sure that it was remedied. His response was that he was going to be on site for the upcoming storms, which he hasn't totally been this past year. And that the town would also still be receiving the letter from the attorney. So I suspect that's why Mike has asked for it on the September meeting.
So he's still playing the attorney game, basically, because that was the threat like March or April, if I remember correctly.
He said the town would be receiving a letter from his attorney.
Right, and that was, okay. All right, thank you, that just gives some update. I mean, I know I'm not the only one concerned about it, and it is August and May, we could have snow in September, who knows, so.
Oh, we've had a Halloween storm for sure.
Right, that's why, so I'm like, that's why there's a little concern that it's not, but I'm glad that you guys at least met with him, that makes me feel a little bit better, and hopefully we can, okay.
Which I think is probably why Mike wants it now for him to come here and come to the public. That him and I said this was not acceptable, you know, you need to step up the game, so.
Appreciate that, okay.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Do you want to talk?
Deputy Stefanenzi from the Sheriff's Office. Lately, we've been responding and assisting a lot, the town manager and the code enforcement that we utilize us pretty much. The latest was pretty much the River Road in Chelsea, the garage with illegal immigration inside. I wanna make sure there is an understand, because I think somebody was under the impression the immigration will do something. I think so. I told already the town manager, the code enforcement, as the town of Chelsea, they need to do their stuff. Immigration, the worst things they can do is booking these guys, they are illegally pretty much in the country. They're gonna summons and they're gonna cut it loose. So eventually, once they get arrested, they're gonna go back in there. The way the living condition, definitely it's no livable condition. immigration, I think to the code enforcement and the town manager are getting with the attorney and taking care of the problems right now. But don't expect anything from the immigration to get it done, because immigration, they're gonna pretty much, once they book in, picture, fingerprints, and give an assignments in 2-3 years for federal court, and then there's nothing else. And I quickly remind to everybody in the community, 2 weeks from now, we at the school, we started it, so there will be school buses are getting around, so we need to remind everyone. Yellow buses, stop signs, flashing lights, and everything else. And anything in the community communicate with us, they can direct communicate with us, and if they don't, they can always communicate with the town, let the town know what is the issue. And they pretty much the town, pretty much they contact us, they know how to get into us, and they can get problems.
Excellent.
Okay.
Thank you.
You want.
What's the address on River Road, just curious?
It's almost to the town line with Chelsea.
You just do that Clark's antique shop.
Yeah, they've been there for 2 years,
No, they change it, they rotate it.
but there's been.
Yes, I know.
Like, just down the road. They come see my
Yes.
horses all the time.
Yeah, they pretty much, like you said, they've been in there for a while. Immigration knows, it's not the first time we send the immigration in there. They are coming, different people every time in there. And they working for the 2 companies. Then we
The
have,
mom and the kids have been there since last year.
they are legal in the state of Maine. Mom and the kids, they are legal.
Oh, we said, yeah, 'cause
Yes.
they've been there.
But there is others, we identified 21 people inside. 5 that were under the age of from 18 and 2 years, and then the rest of them were pretty much adult. From the 21, I think it was 10, 11 that were completely illegal in the state of Maine. A full report with the pictures and everything has been sent to immigration. We are just waiting for them to let us know what is gonna be the status. There is always, we are communicating with the town, we let them know what's going on. But, like I explained, somebody was under the impression that something's gonna get done with immigration. Immigration is gonna come, and that's what they do. We stop it every day, this big van with the ladders on it. They come and they pick them up, a few hours later, they're already out.
Yeah, and the vehicles rotate through there.
Yeah.
Always, there's always
Yeah.
something there.
They coming from Portland, they coming from Webster in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
And they coming in here
But
to
the
work
mom
for
and
the
kids have been
company.
there. At least a year.
Thank you.
Thank you. Public hearing. Adjustments to the agenda.
I would like to add an agenda item, it would be agenda item 6 under scheduled items. This is to appoint your official representatives for KB cog. Because it does have a deadline prior to our next meeting, I'd ask that this be placed on the agenda. I just received it, so. So that would be item 6.
Approval of consent agenda items. Letter A, AP warrant number 2 in the amount of $111,560.19. Article B, AP warrant number 3 in the amount of $155. C, AP warrant number 4 in the amount of $78,646.60. D, AP warrant number 37, fiscal year 2024 in the amount of $8,245.80. E, AP warrant number 38, fiscal year 2024 in the amount of $200. F, AP warrant number 39, fiscal year 2024 in the amount of $2,077.23. G, AP warrant number 72, fiscal year 2023 in the amount of $1,000. H, payroll warrant week number 30 in the amount of $4,669.14. I, payroll warrant week number 31 in the amount of $4,544.19. J, payroll warrant week number 32 in the amount of $5,516.32. K, minutes of May 8, 2024. L, minutes of May 15, 2024. And minutes of July 17, 2024, and minutes of July 30th, 2024, work session.
I'll make a motion to accept, consent agenda A through N as written.
I'd like to add on the L minutes, on the lawn company, you had put, leaving things behind, with more of the fact that the grass wasn't getting mowed, just to clarify that,
So you wanna amend the minutes, which ones were they?
just L.
Amend L to include, I'm sorry,
It was more that the grass wasn't getting cut, rather than leaving stuff behind. That's it.
do you wanna amend your motion to include that?
Yep, I will amend my motion to approve A through K as read, and M and N as read, and with the adjustment to L, stating the grass not getting mowed.
I'll second that. All in favor? Alright, new business. Sealed bids for the cabinet for town office, town manager's office.
We did receive one bid, we need to open.
Aggressive. I'm sure it's something different.
Need a pocket knife?
Wow. A bid for $200, Mary Street.
So as a board, you do have the purview to accept that bid. If not, that's also your purview. It could get sent back out.
It's the only one we have, so.
It's the only one we have.
You good with that?
I'm fine with accepting that.
Alright, I'll accept it.
So you wanna make a motion
Yeah.
to accept it?
Yep, I'll make a motion that we accept Mary Street bid of $200 for the cabinet that was in the town manager.
It's Mary Sweat.
Oh, Mary who?
Street.
Oh, was Mary Street? I'm sorry, okay.
Okay.
Oh, you said Sweat. Okay, Mary Street, sorry.
No, you're okay.
Second.
Okay.
Favor? Comprehensive plan, committee update, KB Connell.
So, I printed out a few of the chapters we've been working on, they're not boring.
It was just the beginning of it, I was expecting to see something different, I was reading it, this isn't making sense here.
So, we've been working through the chapters, those are our finalized drafts, actually, I believe those are the ones we finished, we will be meeting about the transportation chapter this month. And so I'm not sure how familiar you guys are with the comprehensive planning process, but most of the chapters have a policies and strategies section associated with the chapter. And that's kind of where the committee's getting hung up, is that as a group of volunteer citizens, coming up with these policies and strategies, they're somewhat directives to the town on different pathways that we see based on the trends that we identify in these chapters that we think the town would take. And there's kind of a gray area on the authority there, that as volunteers, with the history of comp plans that the town has had, I think there's a concern that that might be a roadblock when it comes time to approve, that the select people are just seeing these for the first time. It might be a little disconcerting. And so I think the main concern is making sure the select board is on the same page as us with these policies and strategies, and is supporting them. Is there anything to add?
I think it was to ask the approval, whether they wanted to attend to do that or give us the authority to move
Yeah.
forward.
So what did you say?
You're more than welcome. I think that ultimately it comes down to is, can you give, the comprehensive planning committee needs the authority from the select board to make these policies and strategies, or the select board needs representation at these meetings. Otherwise, we just wanna make sure they're on the same page.
Right. I'm fine
We
with
can
that.
send the select board the chapters, I send out the chapter that we'll be reviewing a week before the meeting, and then edits about a week after. So we can include you guys on the distribution list, as long as you're reading through them, and
Yeah,
feel free to
let's-
edit,
Please do.
comment.
Yeah, let's do that with the emails and.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have, I think, 9 more chapters to go. Next will be transportation. And then, I think after that on the schedule is natural and water resources. I love the cup.
Thank you.
When is your next meeting?
It is the 21st or 24th of this month, it's the 4th Wednesday.
I should know this, but I don't, so I apologize.
28th.
28th at 6?
6:30.
Oh, 6:30, yes.
6:30? Okay. Thank you for all the work that you and the board, your committee's doing, I really appreciate it. I know it can be tedious to put all this time in and then bring it to us and we say, we don't wanna go that way. So
Right, and I think that's the main thing, is that also, I don't want the town to put all kinds of money into me writing this plan and then be like,
Right. No, I think that's a great idea.
And then the updates them on the emails, we can keep a
Yep.
fresher mindset on it as well.
Perfect. Thank you.
Maine Municipal Association Annual Election Ballot.
This is your annual ballot where you get to elect your representation to represent the executive board at Maine Municipal. Obviously, you know our relationship with Maine Municipal. This is a board that sets all the policies and whatnot. This year, after interviews of a slate, the committee has brought forth Justin Poirier as vice president, and then for the regular executive committee, David Sear, Michelle Barullo Cole, and Matthew Garside as 3 new members to the executive committee. You can vote one or all, however you choose. I assume you saw their little bios in the package, so.
I'm fine with all of them. I didn't see it.
Okay, so you wanna make a motion
Yep,
to
I'll make-
approve this slate?
Yep, I'll make a motion that we, yeah. Yeah, we
Okay.
said, I won't even say it then.
okay,
Are you seconding?
I'll second it. Alright. Consideration to close town office on Wednesday, October 2nd, 2024 for the Maine Municipal Association Annual Convention.
In your package, you do have, did I put that in there? I didn't put that in there, I apologize. The Maine Municipal holds an annual convention every year, it's 2 days. The first day, October 2nd, is the most critical for staff here, has all the clerks updates, code enforcement updates, that sort of thing. This is, I think, the 3rd year I've asked this board to consider closing for the day. This gives us plenty of time to advertise so people are prepared.
Yeah, I think it's important that our staff, seek their connections as well as yours. So, and I think that gives enough time for everyone to plan.
Right.
Is there any public comment? So we can skip over that part.
Public comment?
So I'll make a motion, to allow the town office to be closed Wednesday, October 2nd for our staff to go to the Maine Municipal Association annual convention.
I'll second. So, all in favor?
And I would also encourage, if either of you want to attend, just let me know, we'll get you registered. You should experience it at least 1 year, it's really good for the connections.
Ambulance service agreement, uncollectible payment plan with the city of Gardner.
Every year, the city of Gardner sends us the agreement to continue with ambulance services. I didn't see anything out of the ordinary here. The only exception was obviously the uncollectibles, which we budgeted for in our budget that was approved. So we did span it out 8 years at $4,501 or something to take care of that. Moving forward, those assumed uncollectibles will be in our regular payment to them, so. We just need to,
I just don't believe they want to get to those, but.
Make a motion to approve the agreement with regard. Donna?
are you both in favor?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
KV cog. Awesome person.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, Katie Cobb, yes. That is, as I said in the beginning of the meeting, your chance to have representation on the KV Cog board. One of them does have to be an elected official, and then you can have an alternate, which I believe last year I was the alternate because I go to the meetings anyways, so, but one of them does have to be an elected official.
How long you need?
They meet monthly, except for in the summer,
Yeah.
and it's by Zoom.
They use Zoom, we provide pastries for, in Fairfield, for them in person. Yeah, it's every month, unless they, I think that was mostly because of the financials.
Yeah.
So that might change. So monthly, but
Yeah, I've been attending them by Zoom. So.
they basically just kind of go over current standings. Our new Joel is our new director as of the beginning of this year-ish. And he's been having a staff member attend, so we each give an update, we kind of like round robin it. We give an update on what we're working on, what projects we're working on, and I did leave some membership guides over there.
Yep, she did.
You're interested in it?
I started with the I can right now. I can probably do next year, like this year. Mike's not here, he's elected. You nominate, I will have to make the motion that we, nominate Mike Bouchard to the TV cog.
I'll second. David? Public comment? Sorry, Mike.
Would you like me to be the alternate?
Yes, please, sorry, I forgot that.
It's all right.
So excited about it.
He will love you for that.
I know.
All right, old business, first alarm lawn care request for acceptance of resignation as of August 7th, 2024, mowing contractual obligations.
In your package, you do have a new letter dated July 26th, where Josh Howe, owner of First Alarm Lawn Care, is asked for his contract to be ending August 7th, 2024. Instead of the original end of season that he had submitted. And as a side note, I have secured Alex to pick up as of tomorrow.
I'll make a motion that we accept Joshua Howe, First Alarm Lawn Care, to resign as of August 7th.
I'll second. All in favor? Public comment? Legal? Written communication, town manager report.
Let's see. It's my understanding that the lines have been painted on Hollowell Road and Cheney Road. Those would be the new portions that we just paved. I spoke to him last week and he said it would make it happen pretty quickly, but I heard today that it did happen. Pretty soon, the road committee's gonna be meeting to have a what we learned process moving forward, as we work through the proposal for next year, how we're gonna make changes and changes and whatnot, because we're gonna mostly need to get out a new bid to put the top coat on the new paved portion. So that'll be happening very soon. As you probably are aware from Facebook, trash continues to be a problem outside. I do usually ask Josh to take care of it, and he just bills us when he goes to Hatch Hill, whatever they charge, he charges us. I've had several people comment about the camera, why it doesn't pick it up. It picks up that area, but it's not enough to determine who's leaving trash. If they block it just right, they could leave their trash there and walk off, nobody's gonna know the difference, so. Moving forward, I had spoken to Vice Chair Susie here and said, you know, maybe with the new building, we figure out, determine where there's gonna be a place of camera to view it better. FEMA, I continue to work with them on storm reimbursement. We still haven't got any money from them. We're still chugging along on the January 23 storm. They did just determine though that the December 23 storm, the $2,800 that cost to have the fire department out in that storm did not qualify because it wasn't $3,000. So we won't get reimbursed for that. So, I did have a general assistance audit last week. I'd say we were about 95% in compliance. The only issue that they had was that I'm not signing and dating the applications, even though my memos in the file have a date and what I did. So, moving forward, we'll make sure that those are signed. So, we did receive a little note saying we were in compliance. And staff continues to train, so we're working through that. You never have two days the same.
Those cameras, is that through Seaco, or that is separate?
Yes. Sequel Security, yes,
Do they provide the camera?
yes.
I wonder how old those cameras are.
They are very outdated, and a new system would cost a lot of money. Because I asked about fixing this camera here with what do you call that? Not sill, but, no, underneath the roof line.
Header?
What is it?
Header?
No. Anyways,
It's a gutter.
where it's dropping, the camera ends up filling with water, and we get moisture and stuff on it, and I asked about replacing that, and they said if we could make them anymore, to replace that would mean replacing the whole system, because that works on a totally different system, so we just continue to wipe it off and shake it, and get the water out of it. It's still working, so, but it definitely needs an upgrade at some point.
All right. I don't know if we can get a price, what's it cost to replace those, I mean, why, that system $500, I just don't know.
Are you talking about one that we would actually monitor ourselves?
Well, just a price from them, what it would cost to replace these cameras, get them up to speed, because if we're paying for a service we can't even use it, because you can't see out of it, what good is it, right? So if we're not gonna get a good service, we'll just get rid of the whole thing.
Yep, I can certainly ask for a price. I'm gonna tell you, we probably don't have it in the budget this
Well, I
year.
always get a price and look
Yeah.
at numbers,
Yep, I can,
because right now, they're not clear enough, and what's the point even having them?
absolutely, and then maybe if you guys decide that if for some reason we have a special town meeting before next year, we could decide to add that on or not, so take it out.
Something to look forward to.
Yep, yep, I can certainly do that, no problem.
Yeah.
I'll come back to you with that. I think that's all I have.
Town clerk report.
I think that's in your package, they were quite busy. Our new finance director is pulling those numbers now instead of the town clerk, so I should probably change that, but for July, they brought in about $265,000.
Code enforcement, we have,
We do have code enforcement report.
well, we have, road education, school board, Rick's not here. Boards and committees,
Age friendly. Last night was the first concert of the series because of weather. We've had to keep rescheduling. Just under 40 people attended. The next one is Monday, the 12th. Their luncheon is third Thursday. They're going to be discussing dementia and having chef salads. 175th. The meeting is next Tuesday, and select member Truman has said she will come to update on and express what the board's wishes are and the direction they wanna go. We've gotten the bottle bin out, and we've, the first week, we collected 9 bags, $35 worth, not bad. And we have a banner made that's going to be installed so people will know. Newsletter. The next issue's deadline for people to submit articles is August 15th, and it will go out the first week of September. So if there's anything in particular you want in that for upcoming, let me know, so we can get that in there. What's the next one? Community dinner. Every year it's a discussion on whether we're going to keep the status quo on holding it the Saturday after Thanksgiving. We need to be making some decisions on that, and if they're gonna continue to do that, or if we're gonna move it ahead a week. I know the whole board isn't here, but we do need to get moving on that.
Is that the same day as the craft fair at school as well?
That's usually where it's held, the Saturday, and they have the all-day craft fair, and then we have the, community dinner and tree lighting. There's been talk of holding it a week early, so that hopefully there would be more attendance. And whether we're going to still use the school cafeteria or try to do our own. We need to start making plans, so we need some guidance on that.
My personal feeling is we don't do anything until after Thanksgiving.
I agree with that.
That's just, and we work so, and I know it's the same weekend that Augusta does theirs. So we always kind of compete with that, but we're finally starting to see our numbers come up. So I think people are now starting to plan that it's happening that day. My personal feeling is we do not move it, that we leave it that day.
Okay. Do you want to use the school cafeteria?
Well, it depends on what we use for food, right?
Right.
What did we have last year, the spaghetti?
Last year we had, spaghetti, finger rolls, and some, and we set up because we couldn't use the kitchen. Depends on what direction you wanna go. Do you want a sit-down meal? We don't have the space right here to do that, but if you wanted to incorporate outside a little more,
Well, the weather's decent.
with hot dogs or,
We have the tent up there.
you know, that type of thing. We do have a hot dog steamer now, and we have other, and maybe they let us use a snack shack to set up. Use this space for kids'
Right.
crafts or cookie decorating, or people to get warm, or whatever. It's a direction.
I mean, I'm leaning towards having it all right here, because then you gotta walk 50 feet to the tree. You know, and hopefully the weather's somewhat decent.
And do you really wanna get wild and crazy and have like a laser light show to music while the tree lighting's going on?
As long as the ball keeps cruising some numbers, maybe we won't get it.
I think we should put musical lights on the tree this year.
But what?
Musical lights. so
Musical lights?
they link to a song.
You can help us up there in the room.
Absolutely not my feet stay on the ground, but I will be there to supervise. So we
You
can
heard
fall.
your wife.
Help me out,
You
no,
heard
no.
your wife, right? You and Jake are the ones that go up on the,
You can purchase.
We had a good
those
time
systems
last year,
that
we
run
didn't
on
win.
computer through the radio frequency.
Can you get us a price? Dot, can you
A
get us
what?
a price on that? The lights that go through radio,
It blinks
so
the
like
songs.
cars can go by and tune into it, we can send that home with the kids. You know, it'd be something fun for a family to do one night after supper or after school gets out. We could also do walking tacos with the Doritos and just the hamburger and cheese,
there's options.
that's easy.
And like I said, then you could have, I know in the past we've tried to do ornament making with kids, You could do cookie decorating inside, and that takes care of, you could have it inside and out between the two.
What about the auction, where would we do that part? Cause that brings in,
Decent balance.
I mean, that brings in some,
Almost $600
yeah.
every year.
It's not a ton of money, but I think people have really joined in on it, and now like it's kind of fun, and more
Mhm.
people are coming and donating more things and different things. I think that could be, if we had good lighting outside, we could do it outside.
Mm-hmm.
Under the tent or something.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be inside.
No, it doesn't. It's
I
an
really
option.
like the idea of doing it here, but I think
It's worth a try of it, I mean, it's definitely an option, I think we should at least try it.
the only bad thing, we have to have a room somewhere warmer that we can have our elderly community come in, sit down if they wanna eat, you know, that type of stuff.
So there is space here to
Right.
do that.
Yeah. And I like the kids' activities because we do get a lot of kids, and it's nice to have a warm space that they can come in and,
Keep busy for a little while.
Parade or no parade, parade of lights or no parade of lights, we've had people ask. They enjoyed it the first year, but I also know other people did not.
we got a lot of complaints about it because they thought something was going on in town.
So if they
Unless-
know ahead of time,
Unless we advertise it very, very well, but I think then you get too big, right? Because you've got a lot of parents that double dip over here and at the school, so if we
Yep.
add that on, I think that's almost too much.
I get complaints too, where if it was hunting season, it was the last day of hunting season, and all of a sudden there's a fire truck going 2 miles an hour, cranking sirens.
Well, you should have your deer, anyways, it's
Well, maybe-
dark.
Speaking for, well, not at that point.
It is dark, we need the lights to
Back over
shine.
now.
It was dark.
I know that theater was not dark yet.
It was
It was
dark.
like the last 20 minutes, I'm like, what is going on? Why is it going so slow?
No, all right.
and
Let it keep going
do you
good.
guys have a choice of, who's gonna play Santa, or are we gonna ask
We can call,
our deputies to do
Oh.
it?
we can,
Santa.
reach out to Santa, we had Santa from last year, see if he wants to take a trip down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you really like Christmas.
Okay.
I know, right?
Did I cover everything?
We should have
Newsletter,
a Mrs. Claus
170?
this year.
What's
Are you
that?
volunteer?
No.
I missed that. What was that?
Mrs. Claus.
We should have Mrs. Claus.
Scott's got some merit going.
So doesn't Jim.
I mean, you guys kind of built it in.
Your diet white, you're good to go.
And you got the tennis.
Some of the, staff have mentioned wanting to be elves at this event.
We have a Mrs. Claus.
You do? Who?
Yeah.
Christine.
I think it would be
Alright.
awesome.
We'll do
But
good.
we need to find her a couple elves to go with.
Yes, well,
There you go.
I do know her finance director wants to dress up like an elf.
Okay, so there's one
last year
elf.
too, yeah.
Maybe the other office staff would be interested in dressing up as an elf.
We can ask the other staff.
Maybe some volunteer staff volunteer in the office would like to be.
Over at the pole.
But yeah, I think that would be really fun. Super fun. And maybe, just maybe, now we're stepping into the school zone, but how fun would it be to let a couple of the kids, like, do some things, raise money somehow for some organization, bring in food, do something, and have them
I
be
think
able,
they should sing Christmas carols.
and have them be able to be part, like, someday incorporate our kids to wanna come. Whether it's gonna be Christmas carols, whether it's gonna be Elf of the Day, or something like that, but maybe we could look into that.
What time frame do you want?
Well, they
When
get
do
done,
we-
they get done at what, 3 or 4?
Well, they backed it last year, I think it was 2.
2?
They got done at 2.
But then there's a lot of cleanup.
And we started decorating, but if we're not using the space, it's
Right.
not an issue.
Was it at 4 o'clock last year for the auction?
No, we had the meal
No.
first, and then the auction
I think the dinner was,
first.
I don't know, I'll have to look on Facebook, but the auction was after the dinner, or the tail end of
I
it.
think the time frame was pretty decent.
Yeah, but except we've still had things going when they were doing the tree and
Right.
that, so
So
we needed,
should we-
but if we're all in one space, it's okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And the question is we gonna be on vacation that weekend?
Here.
Had to check.
What's the date of that? November something?
So,
26?
So,
November 20,
Third.
November 30th it would be.
or November 30th. yeah.
Thanksgiving here says it's, the 28th
Yeah, late,
this
late.
year. You do realize that's the end of the month. It's colder.
Maybe we can have somebody build a really decent fire for us this year.
So we're gonna need volunteers to put that tent up. As we all know, that's always
well, I remember last year, we all spent.
and the year
day
before, the
making
wind
sure
takes
that-
it and we can't do it when we plan. Do you still want to do come decorate the tree? Or incorporate it all on that one?
Didn't the art program do that last year with the kids?
Yes, we asked them to make decorations 2 years in a row, but they don't come put them on the tree.
Well, what if we somehow say, we give them the ornament somehow, with a little kit, maybe a handprint on a bulb, and then they come hang it, well, like a plastic one. What?
I love incorporating the kids, but I'm gonna tell you, it's a pain in the butt to pick those balls up every single morning when the wind has gone.
We can
throw
zip tie
across
them.
the-
That didn't work. All right, never mind.
And I think actually Mike said no more decorations, because he was picking them up off the ground out there too.
They kinda,
Yeah.
fall apart in different
And every
pieces.
year it's windy, so yeah, you're right.
I mean,
Or
I think,
what if it was just,
I think last year we put them down on the bottom half so we could remove them after
right,
the,
right, the problem is it'll have to be Tuesday, cause they have school vacation, right, so it'll be on the tree for
And then
decent
we'll
amount,
off.
right, and we'll have to,
I think we left them out last year and as the kids showed up for the tree lighting, they could hang some. But, yes, it's,
Another activity we could do with the kids is, a Christmas card to the veterans. And you can drop them off when you do good news.
yep.
You can share the good news about that.
Oh, yes, because the second Wednesday. So,
They might,
yep.
they might really like that.
maybe that needs to be the project at the school to incorporate it.
Yeah, instead of doing ornaments,
Ask if they'll do.
if they'll do Christmas cards.
Mhm.
That would be a good idea. That's a really good idea.
And it could be not just the veterans, it could be some of the
people
elders in our
town that are
community.
Shut-ins or whatever.
Yeah.
All
Too
right,
bad we couldn't get a group of carolers to come and like sing to the houses that they can't come out in. Even if it's just a small, even if it's just us board that we go.
I'm on vacation that week.
Huh?
Can't want to move on around here.
But you know what, if you just do something. We can talk about that later, but I think we should make an effort.
to sing carols at Togus, walk the halls.
They're still not letting people do that.
Let's park it at this point.
I know I have like
Carried
less
away.
than no say here, but you could have some of the shut-ins or older folks read Christmas stories to the kids in here. Yeah.
The thing
That
is,
would
they
kinda-
can't get out, or it's unfeasible for them to get out.
And some of the ones that could
Yeah.
provide transportation or if they have a way to get.
Yep. We could definitely do something like that. All right.
I'm done.
Is that it?
She's only asked 142 favors.
Is that it for your boards and committees, ma'am?
And then some.
All right, municipal officers, assessors, comments, concerns.
I was gonna ask about the sign, when that will be,
So I did order the sign, I have to send her a check for half, it's approximately $2,500. It'll be 7 to 8 weeks. And $2,500 is for 2 signs, I need to make that clear. It's $1,100 or something for one one sign. That includes install and everything. 7 to 8 weeks. I decided to move forward with 2 signs even though one was destroyed because I stopped and looked at the other and it's in rough shape. So I said, if we're gonna make them, we're gonna make them at the same time and know that it's been changed. So we'll just find the money somewhere.
Perfect, thank you. Yep.
Also. Adjourn.
You gotta make a motion.
Make a motion.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn tonight's meeting at 7:45. 6:45.
I'll second. All in favor?
Thanks, friends.
Alright, so, you said that was you.
White Jeep.
Alright, you guys have stuff to sign.
I was like, I don't know.
What's that?
The search for white Jeep and Trooper just pulled it out back.
What?
Talking about.
Oh,
Is that all?
yes.